Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 7025 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Carice, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
All right. Welcome in. You're listening to More Life with Mr. West. I'm your host, Mr. West. I am a licensed licensed insurance broker and pre-need specialist right here in Las Vegas. And this show is all about education, real conversations, and pre-planning so that you can get more out of life and be present and live in the moment. If you ever want to reach out, you can reach me on Instagram at west.morelife. That's west.morelife. You can also reach me on Facebook too. At just Wes Wiley, it's just WESWILEY. This series we've been talking about life insurance. Last series we talked about pre-need insurance or pre-need arrangements and what they are, who they're for. They're for everybody. They're arrangements for cremations and burials. But they're for everybody. You know, you can plan that stuff in advance. You don't have to wait until someone passes away in order to make those plans. But we've moved on from pre-need. Now we're talking about life insurance, what life insurance is at its core, because people use it for many things. But at its core, it's just to replace income when someone passes away. So last week we talked about just some of the basics of life insurance, and this week we're going to talk about why people get life insurance. But before we get into that, we always start the show with what we did to get more out of life this past week. So if you're listening on YouTube or Facebook, put it in the chat. You know, what did you do to get more out of life this week? One thing that I did to get more out of life this week. Like I said, I'm a licensed insurance broker, so I have a life and health license. So I've been mainly using my life license, since I've been licensed. But I haven't touched the health side. So there's a whole market, there's a whole industry that I'm not even utilizing. So I did reach out to some Medicare brokers, and just to see what they have going on. And I'm going to add Medicare advisement, Medicare advisement to my business. I'm also going to add Social Security advisor to my business too, because they pretty much work hand in hand. So I'm going to be using that too, and then I'll have a series where we kind of talk about the health insurance industry and just some things that can help you out. I know that a lot of seniors, they're struggling with Medicare and how to sign up for Medicare. What's plan A, plan B, plan D, like what does all that stuff mean? So it's good to have somebody that can just filter out some of the noise when it comes to that, and just listen to a senior and just understand what they actually need, and then you could just point them in the right direction and help them get set up, because a lot of them are struggling with that. And one thing that I'm really enjoying with this business is helping seniors. I'm really enjoying helping them out. I wish that I could have done this with my grandparents while they were still alive, but I'm looking at all the older folks, and I'm thinking about my grandparents when I'm talking to them, and what my grandparents would have needed and wanted from somebody who's licensed in life and health, how I could have helped them. And I'm giving them sort of the same advisement that I would give my own grandparents. So, like I said, with insurance, I'm not trying to hold any information. I want to give it all away. I don't think a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of life insurance or Medicare or pre-needs, and no one's really talking about it. So that's what I want to do. I want to make sure I'm giving you all the information. If you have questions about anything, please call me, text me, DM me on Instagram, hit me on Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions or find out answers to your questions, anything like that. So today we're talking about why people get life insurance. A lot of people think it's just one thing, but there's investment features, and there's different types of insurance plans. There's riders, which I guess the best way to explain what a rider is it's like an accessory that goes along with your insurance plan. So there's all these different things that go along with insurance. And then, depending on your goals, your lifestyle, and depending on the people that are depending on you, that could determine what type of life insurance plan that you get. So one of the biggest reasons that people get life insurance is because they want to protect their family income. That's the biggest reason. That's insurance at its core. You want to replace your income when you pass away. If someone is, let's just call them the breadwinner in the family. Let's say they're making $100,000, and let's say their wife is making, for the sake of the story, let's just say the man's making more money and the wife is making like 50 grand. If the husband dies, that 100 grand that he was bringing into the house, that's gonna hurt them, at least for a while, until the wife can kind of figure things out. Maybe she has to take a second job. Maybe she's going to apply for something that's going to pay her more. So that income will really, that loss of income will really hurt. And that's, insurance will help, cover that loss of income. Like I said, you have to, when you're deciding what type of insurance plan you want, you have to decide obviously how much you want and how long that's going to cover you for. Some people only need $100,000. Some people need $1 million. Some people, depending on, your situation, because that will cover you for 10 years or it'll cover you for 5 years or whatever. So, you got that much time to kind of figure it out, what you're going to do to replace the income after that. When someone, when that breadwinner passes away, there's also housing stability that you may lose. Or you may not lose it, but it just becomes unstable, and insurance will jump in. Your life insurance policy will jump in and help you cover, those expenses. I mentioned riders before. One rider or accessory to a life insurance plan would be mortgage protection. So the insurance would kick in and cover your mortgage expenses. Financial support and daily living assistance. Just regular bills on a day-to-day basis. Insurance will help you pay your car note. Obviously we talked about paying your mortgage. Your other insurance plans that you have, like your car insurance or something like that. Daily bills, just light bill, power, light bills, water bill, gas bill, those types of things. You want to think about those when you're deciding how much insurance you actually need. Just daily cost of living. What do I need for gas? What do I need for food? What do I need for clothing? Just some of the essentials, you want to make sure that those are covered. And then we'll talk about some different things that you may want to consider too when you're deciding what policy that you want. But life insurance is, what helps protect the people who depend on you financially. So you want to make sure that they're covered. Obviously, life insurance is not going to replace that person. You're still going to grieve. You're still going to, miss that person. But it's about replacing the financial stability, not the person. All right. Another reason people get life insurance is to help cover expenses and debts. One example would be your funeral expenses. Now, if you've been listening, you already know if you pre-plan, if you have a pre-need and you pre-plan for your cremation and funeral, you don't have to worry about this. But if you didn't, you could assign a portion of your insurance plan to cover your funeral expenses. And we talked about this last week too. If you don't assign a portion, or if you have a final expense policy, whoever that beneficiary is, they don't have to pay for your funeral expenses, or they don't have to. There's no law that's saying that they have to go pay for that. They don't have to do exactly what you said that you wanted for your funeral service. So I would recommend definitely having both a pre-need plan that's paid for, and then having a separate life insurance policy. But like I said, you can assign a certain portion that will go to where the funeral home will be the beneficiary, and then it'll be their responsibility to carry out your final wishes. Mortgage payments. We talked about the rider and how you can add that on there. and that will help pay your mortgage. And if it doesn't cover, depending on how much your policy is, it may not cover paying off your home, but it will cover the payments until you can do it on your own without the help of the insurance plan. Car loans, you can pay off your car loans with insurance. Credit card debt, and any medical bills that you may have accumulated. One thing I would also say is, just got to switch mics here. This one works a little better. Don't mind me. All right. I mean, foams, not mics. Foams. All right. One of the other writers I wanted to mention was accidental death and dismemberment is a rider too. Because not all insurance plans include that. They don't include accidental death or dismemberment. I was talking to one of the other hosts, and he was asking me, if his plan included, it's called AD&D. And, it depends. They're all different. All the carriers are different. Everybody's plan is different. You have to go look at your plan and see if you have that on there. Some of them include, it's sad to say, but some of them include suicide. Some of them don't. But you need to go look at your plan and see exactly what's on there. And if you have questions, or if you want, I can look over it too, and let you know exactly what's in there. So without, preparation, financial responsibilities, they don't just disappear when someone passes away. Yes, you're going to go through that grieving period when someone does pass away, but the bills are still there, the financial debts are still there, and they still need to be paid. And so life insurance can help with that. And kind of off topic a little bit, I wanted to talk about when I got into life insurance. I finally got licensed, and I was searching around looking for carriers and looking for brokers, and I was getting calls from everybody, everywhere. And a lot of these people that were calling me, they're called MLMs, multi-level marketing companies. Basically, they're doing the pyramid thing. So I got a lot of that. I got a lot of calls, and one thing I don't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be a part of a company that focuses on just recruiting other agents. I don't want to do that. I wanted to write policies, and that's what I do. I write policies. I don't recruit anybody. I don't want to recruit anyone. I don't want to manage other people. I've done that before. I don't like it. I'd rather just write policy, just straight up write policies. So, and then, some of the other things that I saw when I was starting to research different brokers, different carriers, and just looking at what different agents are doing. One of the things that stood out to me was people use generational wealth a lot, and to me that's a trigger word to me, and it actually screams scam to me. I don't like the word. Yes, generational wealth is a real thing, but when people are just overly using that word, and it just becomes so cliche, and it just screams scam to me. So stop. As soon as I hear that, I get turned off. And when I hear words like "be your own bank," that it's a trigger word. They're trying to suck you in with these words, generational wealth and be your own bank. You're like, oh yeah, I need to break some generational curses, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to be my own bank. Sign me up. But it's not, it's not that easy. And we will talk about the be your own bank thing, and what they're actually talking about, and how you can actually do that. And I'll tell you right now, you have to have a lot of money to start with. I'll tell you that. It's not, you can't do it with just putting $100 in every month. You can, but it'll take you 40 years to do it. And I don't think anybody wants to wait 40 years to be their own bank. So moving on, I wanted to say that I wanted to get that away. Like, there's a lot of scammers out there and a lot of people that are suggesting certain types of life insurance policies, but they're only doing it because they're getting paid a premium. They're getting top dollar for pushing one particular life insurance plan. IULs are big right now because the agents are getting paid big bucks for signing people up and signing people up for it that don't even need it. You know, they never had an insurance plan before, or, you know, they just can't afford it. Like, those are very expensive plans. Start with the basics. Start with term. If you don't have term, get term. Get you a 10-year, get you a 15-year, and before, like with those plans, there's a time frame where you can convert it into a permanent plan. So a permanent plan will be something like a whole or IUL. You can convert it into one of those plans. Because some people are against terms too. They're like, oh, well, it's only for 10 years. Elementary school tactics. This is so needed in our community. Definitely needed in our community for sure. And not just, you know, it's needed, but it has to be set up correctly. And I'm really getting off topic now, but she said that I want to talk about that. It has to be set up correctly. I am not a wills expert, a trust expert, or an estate expert, or anything like that. I would definitely recommend go talking to those people. But I think setting up your life insurance plan and putting it and making a trust your beneficiary is the best way to do this. And do not make your family members the trustee. Go find a company, a financial company, to be your trustee so they can manage the funds, in the trust. And then, be clear about the instructions. So you pass away, your $1 million goes to your trust fund. Put instructions in there on what to do with that money. Don't just give your family members $1 million. That could be very devastating to them. Oh, I got $1 million. I don't know what to do. You might panic when you get that much money. So put it in a trust. Put some instructions in the trust that say, when these things happen, you get this money, this amount of money. If you get married, I'm going to give you $50,000. If you want to buy a house, I'm going to give you $100,000 to go, put a huge down payment on your house, and then it'll bring your rate down, your mortgage down. Have some instructions in there so that people aren't just blowing the money. First thing you get, you want to go buy a G-Wagon or something like that, and then take a trip around the world. And now you done blew $500,000 and you only got $500,000 left out of $1 million in a year. So put some instructions in there. So anyways, let's move on. Another reason that people get life insurance is leaving support for loved ones. You want to leave behind some support for children, for your kids. You want your kids to obviously make sure their basic needs are covered: food, shelter, clothing. You want to make sure that they have those things. And like I said, put instructions in there on how that money can be used. But also education. If you're one of the instructions that you could put in the trust would be, if my son goes to college, I'm going to pay for his college. And then the trustee will be responsible for going to pay after he signs up for classes. Okay, here's the check, or he goes and pays, or whatever, however they take care of it. Now your kid doesn't have to take loans out for college or grants, or, well, grant would be good, but no loans. So he doesn't have to pay back. He's not going into debt, just to, get educated. For your children, it also helps them start adulthood. Simple little simple things. If your kid doesn't already have a vehicle, okay, your plan can kick in and help them purchase a vehicle, help them purchase a home. Either they're purchasing a home, or if it's just covering rent, maybe it helps them start a business. Maybe it does help them put that down payment on a ring so he can go get married. I think I just said this. You can, help them start a business. It could help. It helps your spouse. Helps your spouse be able to cover all the bills, all the debt. Pay all those things off. It allows your spouse to breathe. For a moment, so they can grieve your loss and not have to worry about bills. But eventually they're going to have to, figure it out. To figure out what they're going to do. Once that money, but the life insurance plan gives them time to do that. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe you're one of those people that are adrenaline junkies and they like to, go skydiving, or you want to ride motorcycles and do some extreme stuff. Maybe you're that kind of person. You could leave this money for your parents. Leave this money for your parents. Like I said, leave the instructions for them to take care of your debt, and then maybe you just want them to go retire, or you want them to go travel the world, or whatever. They can do whatever they want to do with that, but you can leave it for your parents. You can have an insurance plan for your business partner, and we'll talk more about that a little later. And there's other loved ones. Maybe it's a niece or a nephew, a cousin. Maybe you want to leave some money for them. Maybe you want to start a charity program. Maybe you want to donate some money to your church, or a charity that you like. You can do that too. You can leave that money for them as well. Real quick before we take a break. For many people, life insurance is really, it's just about protecting the future of the people they care about. Like I said, you can't replace that person, but it can help put you in a better position. And before we, when we come back, we'll talk about the business part, how businesses use life insurance on some of the key, they call them key players in the business, or even just 1099 employees, how you can benefit from life insurance as well. So when we get back, we'll talk about that. All right. Peace.
I need you all in my face, yeah. And I need you touching all over my body. Yeah, I want you, 'cause I know I don't see no other options. All I see is you, and I don't want nobody else. 'Cause you got the right idea. Touch on me once, touch on me twice, I dare you. And I ain't gonna lie, your game is so vicious. Got me locked in at only 3 minutes. Give me good feeling. to you. Don't you act like you don't need this. You came here to receive this. Cause when I look in your eyes, there's way more to you. And I don't want nobody else. Cause you got the right idea. Touch on me once, touch on me twice. I dare you. You got me that look and told me to come here. Let's get hot, hotter than a sunlight. Asking all these questions like who I came with. When I look into your eyes, we on that same shit. We be on that dance floor, give me tight grip. I can have you working the whole night shift, yeah. You really advise, be more than a woman. I ain't gotta leave in the morning, look. I can be your root, yeah. Anything you need, baby, turn the lights on so you can see you're fucking with a real one. Things you've been through, I done been through. Used to be a player till I benched you. Hold up, acting no shy. Don't be scared to get this number. You can be my new team for the summer. Give a little vibes, be more than a woman. I ain't gonna leave in the morning. Acting no shy, don't be scared to get this number. You can be my new team for the summer. Give a little vibes, be more than a woman. Cause I know I don't see no other options. All I see is you, and I don't want nobody else. Other options, all I see is you, and I don't want nobody else. Cause you got the right idea. Touch on me once, touch on me twice. Don't be no other options. All I want is you.
Wine slow, wine fast, wine slow, wine fast, wine slow. I said, sing it on. This is the remix.
I'm stuck on the road, baby. Haven't been in my right mind. I'm thinking about you, baby. I need a new lifeline. I ain't going nowhere. Promise I won't disappear. We can spend many nights rolling through city lights. Girl, you know you're my equal. Let's continue this sequel. I knew right away that you would be the type. On my toes, you keep me up. Girl, let's go, I'm keeping up. Gotta silence her tonight. Coming. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it.
Lonely, my little lover from my home, man. I miss the way you put it on, man. You used to ride me like a pony, but I had to run the streets. I do it for the cheese macaroni. You know it's hard to control, man. So don't say you won't play. Don't wanna suit you for weird on your birthday. A little niggas on the side if you thirsty. I wanna feel you inside in the worst way. Yeah, dripping so wet, need no foreplay. Wind up on me like it's Juve. Oh, you know they hate us when we going up. You know you love the way you're slowing down. Lucky nobody when I'm not around. Me left Jamaica, now I'm back in town, and I know
you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5.
Okay, we're back. You're listening to More Life with Mr. West. I am your host. I'm a licensed insurance broker and pre-need specialist right here in Vegas. Today we're talking about why people get life insurance and the different goals life insurance can serve. But before we continue, we got to shout out Revive Lounge. Go to revivelounge.com and make a reservation. They're open Wednesday through Saturday. Come get, they got some good, 5 p.m. Make the reservation. You'll see all that stuff on there. But they got some good updates to the food menu that I'm dying to try out. They have great teas. They serve it the way it's supposed to be served. The guy came out and he served me some tea. He's like, you gotta let it seep. I was like, what does that mean? I don't drink tea, but I do now. They have some great mocktails, non-alcoholic beer and wine. The vibe is cool. It's really relaxing here. This is the type of place where you would come and pull out your book, maybe catch up on a little bit of work, just relax, maybe no work, maybe just sit there and just feel the vibe, just listen, maybe talk to some people that are around. They've got these cool little phone lock boxes. You put your phone in there and they lock it up for you so you can, focus on being present. That's what Revive is about, being present, relaxing. And that's what I'm about too, being present in the moment, get out of your head, stop thinking about the past and the future and just live right now. Okay. So, like I said, go revivelounge.com, make a reservation and come have a good time. So back into life insurance and, some of the different reasons that people get life insurance. Some businesses, they need life insurance too. When most people think about life insurance, you kind of just think about husband, wife, kids. I want to make sure I take care of my family, but life insurance can play an important role for business planning. And it could be a small business, it could be a big business, it could be self-employed. Even like rental properties, life insurance can play a role in there too. For example, let's say two friends start a business together. One handles the operations part of the business, and the other one handles the sales. Everything is going great. And then unexpectedly, one of the business partners passes away. Some of the questions that may come up are, what happens to ownership? Who buys out the deceased partner's share? Does the surviving spouse become an owner? Does the business even survive? One of the things that one of the types of insurance plans that businesses will get is called a buy-sell agreement. If one of the owner dies, the insurance proceeds can help the surviving owner purchase that person's interest in the business. It helps keep the business stable, and it helps provide money. It helps provide money to the deceased owner's family, and then it also prevents ownership disputes. Another type of life insurance plan is key person insurance. Earlier I said key player, but it's key person insurance. So this is someone who is critical to the business. It could be a founder, it could be a lead salesperson, It could be someone who is great with client relationships. So imagine that person, they're your top producer. They pass away overnight, and immediately, revenue drops. Revenue drops because that person they're bringing in the most money in the company. Or clients leave because the only reason they're even there is because of that person. They may not even like your company, but they like that person, and that's the only reason that they're there. Now that person's gone, they're leaving. And then, the company will need time to recover. So the key person insurance, it helps provide financial support while the company can adjust to you leaving. There's also business debt protection. Many businesses, they have equipment loans, they have vehicle loans, they have many different lines of credit. Maybe they have commercial mortgages. Life insurance can help pay for those types of things too. And just like with families, with business also, just because, someone passes away doesn't mean the debt disappears. There's still obligations that you need to pay off. There's still family assets that you need to protect. And there's still, it can help prevent forced liquidation. And then for self-employed individuals, if you're self-employed, you are not just the worker, you are the business. Okay. Some of those examples, an example of, some self-employed people who are the worker or who is the business is a contractor, realtors, DJs, insurance agents, and consultants. If your income stopped, you're self-employed. If your income stopped tomorrow, would your family be financially secure? So life insurance can be used for business protection. It can be used for estate planning, long-term planning. Life insurance can also help. Well, we know that for when we talk about long-term family planning, let's switch back to family and move on from business. But when we talk about life insurance, we know that it can help replace income. We know that it can help pay for college. We know that it can help cover childcare. We know that it can help maintain housing or even maybe pay off a house. And it could preserve some opportunities. Let's just say a parent, a parent may never see their child graduate from college, but life insurance can make sure that that opportunity still exists. Okay. Now let's get into some common misunderstandings. One of the misconceptions is that only parents need life insurance, and we just dispelled that with a business. A business can use life insurance, but even those folks who don't have kids, they can still benefit from life insurance. Maybe they have a nephew or a niece. Maybe they have cousins. Maybe their parents are still alive. It's been unfortunate that some kids have died before their parents. My mother passed away before her parents did. So they could have benefited from life insurance. And I think life insurance is as important as all these other bills that we take on. These, it's more important than a car note. It's, more important than taking on credit card debt. It's more important than your Netflix streaming account or all these streaming accounts that we have. It's more important than that. And you benefit from life insurance. You benefit and your family benefits from life insurance. Another misconception is that I'm young. I'll wait. And this is my quote. Tomorrow could easily become today. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you're promised tomorrow. Work coverage is not enough. Another misconception is work coverage is enough. A lot of times that's not, unless you're that key player or you're, the top dog in the business. So a lot of times it's not. I've seen, one of the plans that I had when, I was a W-2 worker was my plan was $20,000. And I'm like, man, that ain't enough. That ain't enough that ain't even cover my salary. So, that was probably just enough to, if I wanted to be buried, cover a funeral, service, burial, and like that's it. So a lot of those coverages for that are held through your company, they're not enough. I was dealing with a guy who I was setting up a pre-need for, and he started talking about life insurance, and he was saying, I got life insurance through my company, but he even said himself, look, this is not enough, so can you help me find a policy that I can leave for my daughter and for my niece? I said, yeah, of course. But he recognized that the policies at your company, they're not enough. They're not enough to cover just a year of expenses. Life insurance, another misconception, life insurance is too expensive. And like I was saying earlier in the show, if you are getting sucked in by those people that are trying to push those IULs because they get paid big checks from those, yes, those can be very expensive. And something being expensive is, relative to your situation. Okay, maybe that's not expensive for you. Maybe that's, right where you are. And you could be a good candidate for that. Some people are not good candidates for, IULs. So they maybe need to go with something like a term policy, a 5-year, a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year term policy. How much, when you're thinking about those types of policies, how much do you need? How much of a policy do you need, and how long do you need it for? If you were to die tomorrow, you could say, I want to make sure I take care of my son for the next 10 years until he turns 18. So I want to make sure he's got this, and this covered for the next 10 years. And that's what term policies are. They're just for a term. And then when I said before, you can convert those policies. Let's say you do go the whole 10 years. You can switch it now. You could switch it and you could do another term, or you might say, you know what? I'm past that. I want to move into something more permanent, like a whole life plan. Then, you could do that. You could do that in the beginning too. You don't have to do a term. It just, all this stuff depends on your situation. Yeah. So the younger and the healthier someone is, the easier and more affordable a coverage could be. So don't wait. Don't wait to get old. Don't wait to get sick before you start saying, I need to take care of this. No, don't wait. Do it today. Start researching today. Reach out to me. I can give you a quote. I can show you some projections or some illustrations on how your money will move in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So reach out to me. And then just this last section, man, we always go over this reflection. And these are very good questions that you do need to ask yourself. And maybe you need to sit down and have a family meeting so that you guys can figure out your plan. You know, you can leave some money for your family. Yes, it has to start somewhere. You know, someone has to be the person that's going to make that sacrifice in your family. Why not you? Why not you? You could be that person that helps set your family up for success. Sit down with your family and figure that out. So ask yourself, you know, these few questions. Who depends on me financially? Would my family be financially stable without me? And then what responsibilities would still exist if I passed away? Answer those questions. Sit down with your family, ask those questions, answer those questions, and start putting your plan together. Start putting your plan together so you ain't got to think about that no more. You can go on, you can live life, you can come to Revive Lounge, and you can be present here while you're sipping teas and eating BBLTs. And that's beef bacon, by the way. So that's pretty much it for today's conversation. You know, more life with Mr. West. I am a licensed insurance broker. I'm a pre-need specialist. I'm here in Las Vegas. You can reach me on Instagram at west.morelife if you've got more questions. If you've got a policy you want me to just look at and go over it with you, I'll be more than happy to do that. Or if you need to set up a new one, I'm more than happy to do that too. Next episode, we're going to dive deep into term life insurance. We're going to dive deep into it. That's one of the plans that's really a core insurance plan. So we're going to really dive in deep into that. We're going to make it make sense for everybody. So please tune in next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. And always remember, we're having real conversations about life, planning, and the decisions that shape our future. Okay, I appreciate you guys.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.